How is everybody today? Everybody's good today. All right. The lecture in Christmas, I think, is a good time to do Surviving Earth, because it's not something you can take for granted much anymore. So this will be fun, the Christmas lecture. Dr. Jeff is doing a great lecture September 29th, Tuesday. Reserved seating. He's doing a great job educating people. Call for reservations. Now, this is not a sad thing. My father has passed away. This is not what this is for. Now, I'm an orphan now. Now, I want you to understand this story. There's so much going on with this story that I have no time for today. But this will be, Christmas. Unbelievable to watch what it's like to watch older people in assisted living. I am amazed with the control that the mischief that you can get into is absolute. It's a fantastic story. And you will love the story because I'm watching them smoke these people and empty this place. I'm like, and they're begging for people to come in. Like, you got a leak in this place. You need to, instead of poisoning them, feed them. It might work better because the people get laid off when the place gets empty. That was the whole point. I felt bad for the staff. The doctor was killing them all off, and the staff gets, every time it happens. So here's, now, so hold on. This is, we'll still straighten out. Hold on. They call me, your father's unresponsive and needs to be on oxygen. Okay, he's dying. This is a long, slow decline, rapidly accelerated as he enjoyed the attention of the medical doctor in the assisted living place. My father likes attention. So they call me, your dad's on oxygen, he's dying, blah, blah, blah. Kelly, roll him. Sorry, Dad, I had to do this to you. Watch. He's dying right here. Why would I show you this? You know why I showed you this? Because when my wife went there, the hose wasn't hooked up in the back of the machine to give him oxygen in his nose. That's why that lecture's up. $7,000 a month, they couldn't hook the machine up to the back. So the air was just blowing into the room. Everybody got some air. And my wife, who caught that? My wife. You're not going to get that by my wife. Don't even try. She caught them. She was in there. She was all over them in seconds. For Pete's sake, hook the machine up at least. Now I'm paying for a machine blowing air into the room. All right. This is my small little plug. I have boys. I know a lot of boys right now are making other decisions. I actually have all-American boys. Derek is rap. That's what you'll see my son driving. He's the rap master. I had to show this because he did that. And this does not do, this is vibrant colors. This was just off an email. The stuff that he's rapping is outstanding. This is where his number is. And he's got some I am overwhelmed at what they're doing with these raps. My other son, Dylan, people said, what's your son doing? I said, well, he's about 170, I think, right now. I have all-American boys. Actually, they've never been to a pediatrician, no shots, no pills. People ask, why are your kids this sturdy? I said, well, I didn't do what you did. I did different things. Dylan's a helicopter pilot. These are the pictures he's taking. And he's selling these all over for real estate companies. That is not my house. Now, in my life, at my age, you couldn't give me that house. How many women would say, you want to fund this house? I wouldn't fund this house if I could afford this house. I wouldn't have all those people under my feet for nothing. A 2,000 square foot house, mine's twice as big as I need now. Captain Dylan Tent, he is having a blast with his helicopters, and he is going to end up doing some cool stuff. He is a flight instructor. We had a visit in the office a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Brownstein. I got out of the shower and emailed him today. I said, hey, why don't you come be my guest? Be my guest. I kind of caught him. Didn't even think about it until I got out of the shower. He came to the office and he said, you still alive? I said, yep, you still alive? He said, we're doing good. Dr. Brownstein's a wonderful guy. We are going to watch each other's flank very well. So me and him went out to dinner. You know what it's like? You know why we all have you kind of we kind of got you. Me and him had the oldest car in the parking lot. I laughed at the car he was driving. I was driving my son's truck with a bullet hole in it that he couldn't afford to lease. He's driving a sold Lincoln. I said, for Pete's sake, we grew up a mile from each other in a very average home. We don't like to buy expensive things. We win. His blog was brutal. I mean, to tell me you want to force shots on kids, you never handled the CDC whistleblowing scientist that said you're raising autism in the children. There's a 69% increase. He's calling them on the carpet. He called it a cesspool of corruption. He's had it. We're watching people getting killed in front of us. Where's the outrage? Where's the marches? Where are the media protests? That's why the Raging Grannies were here. They protest. I saw this picture online. I remember sitting in that office. The last time I mentioned his name, he had a niece in the crowd. My pediatrician. I remember this day as my 2 years of torture and poisoning started, just like that. The allergy shots. Playing sports my whole life. My mod pull-up, gotta go get your shot. Man, I was sicker when I came back every single time than when I left. That was 2 years of fun. It started just like that. Now, the colitis guy who's driving me nuts was in yesterday, and it all started up again, and he said, well, I had cilantro in my salad. Now, when people brag to me about how to eat all this organic food, you know that crap is organic, don't you? So when your food's full of crap and pee, it still says organic. So understand, it is not inorganic. That's what's in your food. Now everybody, I've heard all of you say a million times how good you all eat, and I laugh every time you brag to me. They've poisoned your air, your food, and your water, but you still think you're getting the good stuff. I know you do. Just keep going. Watch TV. It'll all be over soon. Well, we just hit 1 million becquerels. It was 600 to 700,000 coming to a shore near you soon. This has never been recorded, including the nuclear stuff. This will never stop until the second coming of Christ. That's it. This is going to go on forever. It'll never stop, ever. And it's building, and it's building. And you're all going to get weird little cancers, and you're all going to be sure that God did this to you. Why did God give me a cancer? Why did God do this? That's always God's fault, that your kids are autistic and all this stuff. It's always God. So this lets you know that, no, maybe it's something else making y'all sick. This is huge numbers. You don't understand this. This is huge numbers. Let me ask you a question before this. Let's discuss this. How many people have watched kids jailed for ridiculous crimes that went on forever? Everybody has. The drug thing, for Pete's sakes. They could have busted me and my friends and put us away for 30 years for all the stuff we did in the 70s. I wouldn't even tell you the stuff that we did in the 70s. It would scare you. Some people know, and it would scare you. I was not the school kid. I never wanted to do this. That's why I disrupted this field. They put me in this field. I didn't want to be in this field. So what happened was, you should have not messed me up when I was a kid, and I would have never done this. So my point is, our kids are doing 30 years for a joint. People are doing, I did everything that your kids are in jail for. I'm going to tell you right now, I did it all. There's nothing I did. They asked Keith Richards, how'd you survive? It was simple. I had an off switch. He had an off switch. I heard him interviewed. We knew when to stop. You want to arrest me the rest of my life? So let's talk about this now. What does it take with your kids doing life sentences? What does it take to get a life sentence today? Here this dude tried to kill 550 people, stole $34 million from us. That wasn't a life sentence. 80 chemo treatments on people that didn't have cancer. He killed people. He killed fathers. He killed mothers. He killed kids. That's not a life sentence. I would have thrown a shoe at him if whoever said that, they'd have had the shoe off, and if they killed my dad or my wife with that, that is not, I cannot believe the largest serial killer, 6 cancer clinics, the largest cancer clinic in Michigan, he didn't get a life sentence for trying to kill 550 of you. You tell me what's wrong with this country. That's a disgrace. That's an absolute disgrace. This is happening all the time. And you all went, I had patients. He killed one of my patients and he almost smoked another one because they had a B6 anemia, a simple blood test. Oh, I can't overrule this guy. He's like Jesus Christ himself. I will guarantee you, I have great Muslim patients, they'd absolutely throw him out because they're fine people, very fine people. And I'm serious when I say that. They are not represented by the Dick Cheneys of this world. I go to visit my friend, one of my friends, and he's got a nice factory, very successful guy, very impressive. Kids on the table, little 3 kids. Is he going to take over for you one day? No. Why? Well, he got this operation when he was 18 months, and he's never been right since. Do not operate on your children under 4. You come in all excited to get operations on your kids because they're young and they might not. You're going to bake their brains forever and ever and ever. If you can wait, wait. This kid was baked right out of the chute. He's not going to run the company now. And a stunning discovery. When I deal with the medical community, as simple-minded as they all are, because whatever's latest, this is true. They've been teaching them for 100 years that there's no lymph system in the brain. Well, June 1st, they just went, oh my gosh, there's a ton of lymph nodes in the brain. There's a huge lymph system. You know how many people walked in with brain infections? What's it look like? What's a brain infection look like? I'll show you. It's pretty simple. There. They thought it was like that because it's funny when we think we figured things out. We got this all figured out. No, you really don't. You don't know anything. Let's just say you don't know anything and just start from there. So now here I sit. Now I'm going to use this guy's name. Great patient, long patient. Here comes Tim Tyler. Tim Tyler. Here comes Tim walking down the hall. And his wife, I don't see his wife now, his wife's behind him. Tim's come down just like this. And when your wife's behind you, oh boy, okay, what's going on? He's in the room. The worst headache of his life, stiff neck, feels like throwing up. The worst headache, I get 50 every winter. 50. Half of them go to the emergency room. Here he comes down the hall. I said, well, I just got to the emergency room. What happened? He had a CAT scan, a spinal tap, and blood work and x-rays. That's what they say. So I got viral meningitis. I have viral meningitis. What are they going to do for it? They said, go home. So when you go to the hospital, these people come in all the time. They're told they have a migraine. It's not a migraine. It's a virus attacking their brain through those little lymph channels. So that's what meningitis looks like. And I treat 50 cases of viral meningitis because they just come in with a headache that they want to put their head through the wall. And they've been to the hospitals. They've done all the stuff the hospital said first. Then they come to me. Why won't they the pills won't touch this headache when there's a virus in your head? So there's a lot of supplements that will help. Vitamin C helps viruses. Very simple things. There's no treatment for viral meningitis. They're simple. Help the immune system. The doctors know it cycles itself out. Go home, it clears up. And it doesn't. The bacterial and the fungal ones are the ones that kill you. The virus one just drives you nuts. Kind of just goes away. Sometimes you need help if you're sick. But it's not. So the hospital said you have viral meningitis. There's nothing we can do. Go home. That's official. And I see a ton of those. So it's a $10,000 bill to tell you to go home and enjoy your headache. How many people know about all the doctors dying and disappearing? Okay? Now, I treat his family. The Bradstreets are patients of mine. I really can't talk a lot about this. If you haven't pursued this story, you're missing something on the scale of a Kennedy thing, except bigger. If you haven't found this story, cursed be you, because you're missing something. And you know something? I'm not even sure I can talk about this. You know why?
Yeah, because of that.
Kelly, why?
I see nothing. I know nothing.
I was at home in the bad front. I said, Kelly, can you find that Sergeant Schultz guy that doesn't know anything? Because I want you to put him on there, because I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I'd like to stay alive for a while. Next. An immune-compromised people died from measles, so they made everybody get shots, and the person was taking medications that suppressed their immune system, the health department said. So now you all have to get shots the rest of your life because measles killed a person that was on medication that ruined their immune system. Mumps. Well, mumps was a complete fraud. They added animal bodies to the blood samples to say it worked. Since they faked the results 50 years ago, nobody made a mump shot because, for Pete's sakes, they put animal antibodies in it to make it look like it was working. It wasn't working at all. It just poisoned you slowly. But the false results were so high, nobody tried to make a real thing because they lied. Who cares? There's a lot of extra people. California vaccine bill passes. All school children have to be vaccinated. I put an ad up on Facebook. Wanted special ed teachers for California. Immediate occupancies expected. All ages, kindergarten through 12. That's exactly what I put on Facebook. My kids have never seen a pediatrician. They're 23 and 24. Did I say something wrong? Now, now, if you work in the industry, and you Democrats, you thought the Republicans were pushy, didn't you? You Democrats have been pushing harder than I ever saw the Republicans push. You're a little slipperier than I thought you were. I didn't think, all this Cheney, Bush, Hillary Clinton stuff, this little weird game going on. Do you understand what's happening? Do you understand what this is? This is your future. And I'm going to show you what's going to happen to your future today. I have a special little thing. Let me ask you a question. Live. This is what I talked about. Live. How many of you in this room know somebody that has a kid that's had autism from their vaccinations? Raise their hand. Everybody in the room, raise their hand that knows some. I know a zillion, so I could raise 4 hands. Raise it up, all the way up. All right, look. Got it? How many know somebody that died of measles? Raise your hand. How many know somebody that died of mumps? Raise your hand. Chicken pox? Raise your hand. Measles, rubella, whooping cough, okay. Let's make that clear. Now, Kelly went and did Josh's little vaccine thing. The lady walked in and said, look, seizures are the worst thing. If you get seizures and they don't get well, you might get some money. And she walked out. You might, if your kid's brain's all messed up and it doesn't get better, you might make money. That's what she said. Kelly texts me and says, this was strange. I said, Kelly, they're on our side.
The National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program has paid out $3.3 billion since '89, and that's the only cases that they adjudicate.
Yep, and it's much. Now watch this.
Doctors don't even know about. I told the doctor that ran for Congress here, the Indian guy.
Yes.
He's running for supervisor in Canton.
He's a pediatrician, isn't he?
I don't know. He didn't know about it.
No.
I mean, this is pathetic.
Now right here. Now, I'm going on the internet to say you don't need a leader. There are hundreds of millions of you. Brazil took to the streets over bus fares. Turkey took to the streets over a park. In America, there's a joke that the French are cowards, but that joke doesn't exist outside of the U.S. A new joke is emerging. A joke about people who gave all of their liberties away to fear. Fear of communism, fear of drugs, fear of terrorism, fear of a revolution. When will Americans demand their country back? The rest of the world is with you when you do. I Skype with the whole world. They're laughing at us. They laugh at us. National Video. They paid $3 billion. They paid so much money out that they had to erase the results because it was embarrassing. This guy was fighting for shots. He wanted everybody to get shots. He got a DTaP shot. You can find his story. He's got Guillain-Barré, and he had a stroke. So you ask him if he wants to get a shot. He used to support the other side. This is all over the place. Now, this Governor Moonbeam. Governor Moonbeam, I want you to look into my eyes. Now, who's Governor Moonbeam? Jerry Brown. Okay? I think they had bad drugs in California because something ruined. We had better stuff here. They ruined him. His brain was wrecked. They ruined. He never was right to start with. But at this age, this is a message for Moonbeam And I have a zillion followers of my lectures in California. Wonderful women are terrified. This next part's for you, Governor Moonbeam. I want you to watch. Stay close to the TV for this, and I know this will get to him in California. This is for Moonbeam. Long-term persistence of vaccine-derived aluminum hydroxide within the body is associated with brain dysfunction. Aluminum, brain dysfunction. Aluminum, brain dysfunction. When the results get bad, Mercola, who's a little scared right now, because I know some of his people, the government just wiped all the vaccine data. When it starts building up, it's kind of like the debt. You just erase it and start over. That's okay. That doesn't matter. Now, I'm walking through 12 Oaks. This irritated me. Do you know how many strains of tetanus there are? There's tetanus in all the dirt around your house. It is full of tetanus. There's a zillion strains of tetanus. There's one crappy one that you're never going to see. So this kind of stuff, there's a zillion tetanuses that are benign and nothing. What happens when you're 58 years old? This is Kelly's neighbor. This is Kelly's neighbor, her sister-in-law's next door neighbor. Josh has played with this kid. He's my age. I'm 57, he's 58. He goes in, gets a bad diagnosis from the doctor. He's got a 20-year-old autistic kid that walks in circles. His whole life, he walks in circles, and he bounces on a trampoline. And Kelly's kid bounces with him on the trampoline. He goes to the doctor, gets a crummy diagnosis. What are you going to do with the kid? Shoots himself and the kid in the garage. This is Kelly's her sister-in-law's next door neighbor. There's 60,000 of these kids in Michigan. 60,000. The one up north, you know what she did? She was in the paper. She put a barbecue grill in the SUV. Remember that? She put a barbecue grill. She set it up, fired it up. Hunters came by, kicked the door in, got her for first-degree murder, and the baked kid's twice as baked now because of all the stuff that she went through. And she said, I can't take this anymore. You do whatever you want with me. I'm not living. This is not the kids being ruined. There's 60,000 of these kids in Michigan, and nobody takes care of them after 21. After 21, you're all on your own. You watch what it's like to never work and have to corral a kid in a room, 8 by 8, who's bigger than you, that can overpower you and isn't going to listen to you. That's what their life's like. There's 60,000 in Michigan. That's 3 million people in the United States. That's your future. Now, here's your PDF right from the drug company. I'm not going to spend time on this because I can't. Here's all your research from GlaxoSmithKline. They'll tell you about it. It's confirmed. I have to keep moving. A lot of stuff here. Documented cases, genetic mutations or deletions, viral infection, all following vaccinations. I Skype with this kid from West Virginia. Now, my Skype patients treat me a lot better than my patients who live here. Okay, these are much better. They watch the lectures, they participate in their health. You argue with me, they can't wait to talk to me. It's a totally different thing. You watch how this world starts shifting in a different direction because I've sure enjoyed the people that are really interested in this rather than the people I fight with in this. This is my 35th year, started August 3rd. So as far as putting up with a lot of headaches, I'm not gonna. And I'm gonna tell you a couple of headaches on this one. Wonderful family. Kids told you I was sitting down with a 25-year-old kid. He's going to see this, him and his parents. They live in West Virginia. And he had a horrible reaction at 3. So he spends 25 years thinking he's got Asperger's. He's got Asperger's. For Pete's sake, you're full of aluminum. You got a sheet of aluminum on your head. All these kids can't concentrate and they can't think. Land of the free, home of the drooling. Here we go. Number 2, Julia, right there. This little girl, you want her in the front. Everything I'm going to show you, Moonbeam, is since you passed this law. I will tell, this is one before you. Everyone's current. These are all current things happening since then. This girl, you'd want her in, she sits in the front of the class. She has her pencil in her mouth. Her face, she's trying so hard to concentrate. She's thinking. She's frustrated. I can't get it. And they bring her to me. Oh, the teacher says you got ADD. She can't focus. She got problems. She just, for Pete's sakes, the kids are coming in with the same Alzheimer's the grandma did. This is the same hair analysis on grandma after a lifetime of aluminum medications. So this girl, you wonder why she can't think? She's got a sheet of aluminum in her head. That's why she can't think. It shorts out your brain. Elsie, they're not moving back to the country. She got whacked at 18 months. Some idiot gave an 18-month-old travel vaccines. Well, she ain't been right since the travel vaccines. She won't move back to the country. With the law you guys just passed, you can keep it. Next, Nathan. Hand clapping. I sent his family this hair analysis and a dismissal notice. I dismissed them. They poisoned their kid, ton of poisons, ton of chemicals. I got more calls putting them on food, zinc, than they did the doctors at Ruin. They tortured me. I dismissed them. Poisons and chemicals. They didn't call a doctor 100 times about poisons and chemicals. I tried to put them on zinc and run a hair analysis. They were problems, broom them. I'm not putting up with it. You should have asked the doctor before you did this to your kid. Take movies now because he just sits and flaps. Tara, vaccine stop at a horrible reaction, aluminum. This is what your kids look like. They're starting off with, these are sensory kids. They can't focus, they can't think, they can't concentrate. They're all over the place. Alzheimer's on a kid. How many you want? I went by Dr. Jeff. This is yours, Dr. Jeff. I had a complicated blood test. I was trying to get Dr. Jeff's opinion. I walked into this room and there's this woman crying. This is what, Monday? This is Monday. I walked, she's crying her eyes out. Jeff goes, look at this. And here's their little starry-eyed kid staring off in space. When she saw what she did to her kid, her heart was broken. Absolutely broken. Can't you get him back? Well, you're not going to come back like a kid that hadn't had this done to him. So just remember that. She was distraught. Another one walked out of the room crying her eyes out when she realized, my God, Jeff had two running out in tears after they realized what they did to their kid. So Moonbeam, this is the future, and if you might be blessed with one of these as a grandchild, it would only be right for you to have one. I'm dead serious. And I would not come after me. I'm a serious hockey player. I have some serious checks that you haven't seen yet. I am not the typical doctor. I play men's hockey 4 times a week. Full slap shot, draft league, hardcore, no prisoners. So I'm not like the typical nerdy type of a guy. So bring your bigger brother because it's going to take more than one. And I did dismiss them. When you treat food like it's a poison and your kid is on 18 chemicals, that doesn't bother you. This is not the office for you. Don't waste your time coming in the lecture. Don't, please. I don't have the patience for it. I'm very, very busy. I don't need arguments, so just go somewhere else. Fragments of foreign DNA. Well, Dylan, what happened to the neighbor? There's my son back there, Dylan. The rich neighbor, I got a rich neighbor. He gets a flu shot, now he's got rheumatoid arthritis. I went over to his house and said, Jim, you're dying fast enough. Don't help him. He went home, he watched my autoimmune lecture, which is online, canceled every vaccine program for his entire company, and he fired it Monday after what they did to him. Fragments of foreign DNA and other substances of vaccines on sick, disabled, dying children. Now this is important. This is going to be over your head, but listen. He claims that foreign DNA is a term of which most medical consumers are unaware. She believes it is common sense for professionals to question the safety of foreign DNA, otherwise known as recombinant DNA. I want you to look up the word recombinant DNA. That's what you need to look up. Recombinant DNA. It recombines. You can change your genetics. Recombinant. It's a big word. Look it up. Senate Document 2 now. I have to get through this before I start the doctor part. I know you all eat good and you all eat organic, and I know that. You're all very healthy. And back in 1936, they said you can't possibly eat enough food. You can't eat it. It's impossible. There's no way. Your stomach's not big enough. There's nothing in the food. That was before Roundup. Roundup pulled all the minerals out of you that you never had in the first place. Roundup's a chelator. So your kids are falling apart, 17, 18, there's nothing left in them. So I'm getting pestered as to how I lost all this weight. Now this is official. One time, I'm tired of talking. I lost 31 pounds. I was 169 yesterday morning, 169.0. I started at 200. Okay, I was getting insulin resistant. I play a ton of hockey, I exercise, and I was still going backwards doing all that. This is what I did to get back in shape. It's very simple. So number one, in 1936, there was nothing in the food. That's very, very important. They had three things: nitrogen, phosphorus, and the foods we eat. There's 77 trace minerals that you need to sustain your health. Your food has three. Now, I took this picture. Jill is 50 pounds down in 4 months, doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm down 30 pounds. This shot was last week. Kelly's down 40 pounds. Jill, me, and Kelly have no willpower and no discipline. We've lost 110 pounds. Jill works at Just Baked. I asked Jill, how's your craving? She said, I've had none. She works at Just Baked. That's 50 pounds in 4 months. I didn't even know. I walked in, what are you doing? She said, well, exactly what you're doing. All right. I did not know she was doing it. All right, now this is how simple this was to do. What happens, I'm looking forward. Last year I went to the state fair and walked around. That was an education. That was an education. I mean, you guys look pretty good here today. If I look out at you, guys look pretty good. All of you look pretty good. Walk through a Walmart. I go to Myers at 8 in Haggerty. It's a freak show. It's a freak show. The people are defective. And that's not their choice. They're being poisoned and nothing they can do about it. If you ain't trying to stay out of the way, you start looking like a mutant. You do. They all look weird. They're starting to get really strange. Their shape's changing. Their eye. I saw a Microsoft commercial last night preparing for my lecture. All little babies in a swing jumping up and down. Anybody see that commercial? Look at the kid's eyes. For Pete's sakes, only one of those kids' eyes pointed straight. They're all, look at the eyes. You can see the damage in the kids' eyes. For Pete's sakes, you watch, it's a new Microsoft commercial. It was on last night. It's all babies. Everyone looks like they had all their shots at the exact same time. There's about 2 kids that, Camille, raise your hand. What's your daughter's eyes look like? You can see them from across the state. She comes in, headlights. How different, you're a nurse. How different are your daughter's eyes and everybody else's eyes that thinks you did the wrong thing? It's ridiculous. Her kids, I could go through the room and spot every one of the kids that had vaccines. Their eyes look like they've had a stroke. You know why? Because some of them had a stroke. Ask Dr. Muldoon. He's not with us anymore. He had some funny heart attack at 48. Look up Andrew Muldoon's stuff. You look at his videos and you won't think the same again. He's not with us anymore either. You better not go to New Zealand's not taking Americans, they said. We're not going to take any Americans because you're fat. You can't. Well, Paul, won't we take anything, Paul? Is there anything we can't take in this? AIDS, pedophiles, doesn't matter. We're here for you. New Zealand wouldn't let them in if they were fat. You're fat. Go home. Come on. You're fat. We don't want you. Okay. 3 approaches to weight loss. 1, there's a sheet of paper they're putting together at the office. The hypoglycemics that are fat, these, which is more me, and then they're diabetics. Call the office about this because I'm going to fly through this because I got a lot to do. Now, my wife is in this crowd. Where's my wife's in the back? Can you raise my lovely wife's in the back? Raise your hand. Now, my wife doesn't cook. I don't want her to cook because she's too important to cook. She does very important things for the business and all the kids and everything. My life, there's nothing. If I was dying of cancer and I had a week to live, that's what I put the patients on who are dying. I did the dying thing. You couldn't possibly, that's my shake in the morning. That's my breakfast and my dinner with the pills that I took. The saturated fat put me from eating, I can't eat French fries, pretzels, or most of the Nature Valley bars. My appetite's completely changed because I can't handle the food anymore because there's nothing in it. And the foods that I can still eat, I can still eat. I can have licorice, I can have sugar things, and I can have popsicles. I can't eat. Pizza starts making me sick. I'm so well fed now, my body is picking what it wants. And inside my body, intuitively, you put something, I can't eat potato chips. Now they make me sick. Who doesn't like potato chips? The fat that I'm eating is better than that fat. Your kids will eat butter because they don't have any fat. This killed all. If you couldn't juice this, you couldn't pay for this, you couldn't buy this. You're not going to get this density anywhere. Don't even try, because you can't afford to try to get this. All I did was take the first class stuff on earth, 2 shakes a day, and I'm eating around that. That's my lunch. I started to walk away every day. I took a picture. I don't believe this. My friends I eat with, are you done? Full. I can't eat any more than that. I don't want it. It makes me sick. I'm going to do it, and I haven't even started hot. It's 4 games a week starting in September, and I'm in this shape in the off season. So my point is, there's nothing in the food. We've explained this a million times. Everybody's got to go here because okay, Jennifer, type 1 diabetic, her husband works at GM. She has no coverage for insulin, and he's a salaried employee. It's $1,000 a month, and he has to pay $500 a month for insurance. It's $1,500 a month, and nothing's covered. All right, the doctor part. The doctor part. I had to hurry up to get to this. The doctor part. It's important. And I'll tell you, I got something. I was thinking, should I say this? Happy birthday, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay. Brian knows more of this stuff than most of you. Brian is one of my fans. He watches my lectures. He thinks it's a comedy show, not a doctor show. Now, Brian. Viral panel. All right. Now, this is the part. Now, I did this after lunch for the doctor. I did the heart stuff in the morning. We went to lunch, came back. This was the afternoon show. Now, the viral panel, this is a sheet we'll give people a run. Epstein-Barr, best known as the cause of mono. It's herpes. Epstein-Barr is a herpes virus. Lymphoma, Burkitt's lymphoma, nose cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue, Sjögren's, lupus, dermatomyositis. Epstein-Barr. There's a 10-fold increased risk of MS if you have Epstein-Barr. Mono causes MS. It's simple. Viruses are eating you alive because that's what they put in you with all your vaccinations. Viruses. Now, Jerry comes in. He's a dentist, right? Not great guy. Comes in. His wife says, can I ask you a question? Now, I give the guy a great adjustment. I'm ready to leave. It's always, a lot of you people are like Mrs. Columbo. Just, Mr. One more question. All right. Well, I have a very Columbo feeling with a large number of people. I have to ask you about Jerry. He's got a lump by his neck. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. It comes up for 3 months, goes down for 3 months, goes up for 3 months, goes down for 3 months. And he's not sick. She said, what's the matter? I said, do you want to know what this is? He said, yes. I said, you sure you want to know what this is? He said, yes. I said, Melanie, can you get him up in the morning? She said, no. He's always tired. I can't get him up in the morning. He said, what's the matter? I said, you're between lymphoma and mono. When it comes and stays, you have lymphoma. As long as it's going back and forth, you have mono. Simple. 2 months, I'm treating him for 2 months, goes by, they live a long ways from here. 2 months goes by, she comes in. I said, how's Jerry? She said, when I get up in the morning, he's in the shower. He's never done this before. He's in the shower. Now, cytomegalovirus. CMV is in the recent, there's the monkeys that they use to vaccinate you. All those green monkeys. When they told us that the African green monkey caused AIDS, which that was nonsense, but then they said they used the African green monkey as a culture medium for the vaccines. Stop. Say it again. Either you tried to kill us or you don't understand anything about AIDS. Because they said African green monkey, remember that? Causes AIDS, remember when I said that? That's the monkey they use for the vaccines. So there's your African green monkey right there. Big. They don't use monkeys as much as they used to. I think the abortions were cheaper. So that's what we're using now. So the virus remains with you for life, but it's not always active. CMV may cycle through periods during which it lies dormant and then reactivates. If you're healthy, it mainly stays dormant. You get this from fluids, blood, urine, saliva, breast milk, tears, semen, milk, vaginal fluids, not by casual contact. CMV. 101, muscle weakness, fatigue, shortness of breath, low white blood cells all the time, mental confusion, seizures. It attacks your brain, attacks your head. Amy, my lovely, wonderful Amy that works the front with me for years, is CMV positive. This is what it's like. Thank you, Amy.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I've worked for Dr. Tent now for the better part of 12 years. Early in my 20s, I was diagnosed with cytomegalovirus, which is CMV. My symptoms were extreme fatigue, pain everywhere in my body, achy joints, lymph glands, burning skin. I had no idea what was happening at the time, so I had ended up in urgent care a couple times. And they didn't know what was happening. They wanted to do a spinal tap, and so I was like, no, never mind. I'm not going to go that route. I'm out of here. And fortunately, a few years later, I ended up working for Dr. Tent, and I kept hearing these stories of these people with these same symptoms, and he started talking about CMV, and it reminded me, oh yeah, I have CMV. I forgot about that. And so then he started to treat me for my virus, and my symptoms are so manageable now. I can feel them coming on. I know when to get started on my protocols, and it's amazing. I don't know where I would be if I didn't work for Dr. Tent right now. I have no idea what road I would be on. Hope that's helpful.
What did she say that was the key thing for you? What did she say? Please.
Manageable.
It's manageable. God bless you. It's manageable. Your immune system's been compromised. She's going to manage it. People act like, how do you get this over? You ruined yourself. You're going to manage yourself. These people come in, you want to get brand new at 80. You want to be brand new at 70. For Pete's sake, get into reality. Look at where you're at. I got to explain reality to people sometimes, and it's very frustrating. You're getting old. You're falling apart. Work at it. You're not living forever here. They watched too many situation comedies where everything was worked out in 30 minutes. This isn't real life. It was phony. The lack of reality in my office is staggering. You think I'm being funny? They talked you into they just sold you Lipitor for 37 years and just admitted they were sorry the whole hydrogenated trans fat thing was a mistake. We're sorry they plugged every one of you up, caused you to have a heart attack and a stroke, and your cardiologist told you to do this. You tell me what kind of game they got going. Oh, they're sorry though. With 60,000 miles of blood vessels, those trans fat plugged up 20,000 of you. You've all been dulled and compromised. You don't even know what it's like to feel normal because you don't. You would not even realize what a body's supposed to feel like because you've all been affected, including me. I'd like to know what it would feel like to be healthy. Herpes 1 is not a simple thing. It'll damage the nervous system. These are not play viruses. They will attack your brain. They will attack your spinal cord. They will attack. Nobody knows about this. I'm scratching the surface for the future. The kids have to take my stuff and move forward because I'm just scratching the surface. Type 2 can be reactivated. Colds, influenza, they come and go. They will attack your brain. Herpes 6 affects all human beings, typically before the age of 2. It's usually symptomatic. Childhood fever, diarrhea, rash. Lifelong latency, it can be reactivated. Chronic infection, reactivated. There's Richard Pryor, right there. I know he had herpes 6. His whole life was hookers and prostitutes, and that's what by his daughter's own mouth. What was it like to live with Richard Pryor? My whole life was hookers and prostitutes. That's what she said. I know something ate his brain away, just like that guy chasing the milk bottles up Howard Hughes, same thing. Multiple epilepsy, cancer, herpes 6, optic neuritis, seizures. Remember this one. Remember optic neuritis. Epilepsy, the email goes around. Remember the email? Pray for so-and-so's puppy. He's got seizures. Well, he must have went to the vet. Everybody that works for me has a dog that has seizures. We've all got the lousy dog shots. We can put the lousy dog in the lousy kennel. And everybody's dog, well, they kind of look like the kids now, but you watch them for, yes. Right? Seizures, seizures, seizures. Thanks for the help for the dog. They're doing it to your kids. Now, I can have the dog flop around a little bit. I don't want Dylan flopping around. He flops around enough. HHV is more neurovirulent. It attacks nerves, and it's frequently found in patients with MS. Don't play with your viruses. These aren't fun. They will kill you. Parvovirus. I had to treat the head of Channel 7 for that after Cleveland, Beaumont, U of M. He had a parvovirus attacking them. They're all over the place. They don't have anything for viruses, so they just act like it's not there. These aren't there. There's no drugs for this. This will linger, and this is a funny arthritis. I got to keep going. The thyroid antibodies, that's an infection. Multiple sclerosis. EBV was in 100% of MS patients. 100%. Herpes 1, 2. Viruses are eating you alive. Any viral reactivation, 72% of the MS patients. They know that these viruses are attacking you, but since they don't have drugs for it, they're just letting them attacking you and giving you more shots so you don't miss any viruses. You don't want to miss any. I have a famous person in this crowd that I have the pilot's pilot in this crowd. The pilot's pilot. Okay? He flies Red Wings, flies everybody. He's a big shot. He is the guru of flying. I'm going to let him stay anonymous. He goes in for his physical. Has to get a physical. I got to get a physical. This is how fast your life can go sideways. He comes in, boom, they pop him with the hepatitis B shot in the middle of the physical. He's sick as a dog. He's had a yeast infection for 2 months. He can't shake this fever out of. He's sick. Now he's sick. Trying to shake this fever off. He goes in. This is the pilot this is the big shot that flies the pro teams. The guy that he let teach the other guys. He goes back. Why in the heck did you do this to me? I am sick as a dog since you gave me this hepatitis B shot. I am the damn pilot of the plane. You're the pilot? We thought you cleaned the toilets. It was a mistake. He's been sick for 2 months. He's in the crowd today. He's right there. I was letting him stay anonymous. This is the big cheese that flies. Thank you for admitting this. Pay attention. He is pissed. He went back. What's this all about? Oh, that was a mistake. We're sorry. You want to catch this stuff as fast as we can because this was, I would be grinding my teeth when I was talking to them after this. So this is how simple. Remember my friend with the kidney failure? I buried him last Tuesday. He went septic from a biopsy that was an outpatient biopsy, and it killed him. They didn't need to do this biopsy. The mistakes that I lived through are a catastrophe in my office. I'm tired. I thought I was going to fix sick people. It's all mistakes. I got to keep going. This is important stuff. The doctors loved it. They wouldn't leave me alone. They followed me like dogs. Nobody knows this stuff. This is new stuff for them. I've been doing it for 20 years. They're not sure about any of this. They don't know anything. Overuse of antibiotics. Kelly, 7 months of antibiotics for acne. Her mono flared up. She fell asleep in school 3 times and her feet were on fire. You watch how many shots that her kids are going to get after what they did to her. Antibiotics destroyed Kelly. Vaccinations destroyed all of you. Amy took ibuprofen for 2 years for figure skating injuries. Ibuprofen shuts off your immune system. It's very immune compromising. You don't know that. Poisoned air food, that's all of you. Prolonged stress, that's all of you. Cosmetics, I could tear your cosmetics apart, but why disturb that? Fear, you want to know fear? Just watch Fear. You want fear? Fox News, Bill O'Reilly. If you're not with us, you're with the terrorists. Oh, for Pete's sakes. It's embarrassing. I have a brother that's a Fox News kind of a guy. I got to work on him, Ernie. I'm working on him. I had a nice Dick Cheney discussion with him. I got him to admit, all right. Blood transfusions. I've watched people collapse under that and never get out from under a bad blood transfusion. Never. You don't want a blood transfusion unless you're going to die on the floor right now. Immunizations. Well, I got all of you with that. Operations. My wife's one of these. Derek's 25. We tried to have him at home. He wasn't coming out. We went to Providence, a perfect C-section from Dr. Kazora. Perfect. No infection. Everything was perfect. 3 months later, she gets weird headaches, weird body aches, and weird fevers. I said, what the heck happened to you? She said, I walked out of Providence Hospital with something I didn't have when I walked in. And the light went on. Oh my gosh. There's no such thing as minor surgery. There's no such thing as minor surgery. There's no such thing as minor surgery. So my wife, I asked her, all right, out of 365 days last year, how many days did that virus bother you? What'd you say? She said 3. I said to Kelly, start managing their compromised immune system. I asked Kelly the same question. How many days has that bothered you? She said 3. They've compromised themselves. They're going to have to watch this. Radiation. Look up polonium-210 if you want to know anything about radiation and go from there. Antiviral diets. We have to offset the diet with amino acids. It'll put that to sleep. Lysine helps offset these food triggers. These things will stir up. How many people get a headache from chocolate? Raise your hand. How many people get a headache from chocolate? Viral people will get headaches from chocolate. Viral people. Calcium herpes in the gut. If your calcium gets too low, viruses love to flare up. Love to flare up. Peter. This is me and Brownstein worked together on this guy a long time ago. This guy walked in. Simple. MS. Started in 1990. His left leg would not crack the right leg. Had numbness and weakness. Had stem cell therapy. Herpes, mono, twice, and Bell's palsy. That's what's attacking his body. Here's his viral panel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark. Oh, Mark. Mark and his wife, some of my favorite Skype patients from Chicago. This is Mark. Great guy. I wish, you know what Mark told me? It's a professor of hot dogology. He's a character. Oh, he's a fantastic guy. You know what he told me? He gets up in the morning. He said, you're not going to see a recycling bin in front of my house. I don't care about this stuff. I just throw it out. You know why? You know what Mark said? He said, when I get up in the morning, like 4 o'clock, to let the dog out. Before I get to work, I let the dog out. He said, when FedEx and UPS is coming in heavy, FedEx and UPS is coming, they dump all the fuel all over Lake Michigan and all over my trees. He said, I go out, smells like diesel fuel. FedEx is dumping their fuel on the way in because the planes, they do this all the time. He can tell us when they come in heavy because there's fuel oil in all his trees. They dump the fuel before they land. He just volunteered this while I was talking to him. He volunteered that while I was talking. From the airplane, right? They dump the fuel. They don't land with fuel. They dump the fuel because they don't want to come in heavy. He said, you would not believe what's dripping from my trees when the planes are overloaded. Save your little bottles for the environment. Just catch that little pink down. Jeez, what a clown show. It's turned into a clown show. Great guy doing virus, nerve repair, motor function. Him and his wife drove up a couple weeks ago. We had a great visit with them. Sydney, perfect, works at the Mayo Clinic. Past 2 months, night sweats, body aches, warm, whole body tingles and twitches. And they'll tell you that's MS if you'll hold still, and if you got good insurance. Mono. She passed out twice due to dehydration. Treated her with my Epstein-Barr, rehydrated her with salt and minerals, and treated her for adrenal fatigue. You know how many people call me with night sweats? You know why you have night sweats? You're sick. Because you're sick. You got a fever in your body. You people live sick. You're so used to being sick. Most of you, I play hockey 4 times a week at night. You want to come with me? And I work 45 hours wrestling overweight Americans to the floor and winning most every contest. So if you're really healthy, come on to my schedule. This is my 35th year, and I don't mess around. So if you tell me you had a better plan, I'd be interested to hear it. The reflex that I taught the doctor, liver virus, Dr. Versendahl, who was killed in a car accident. And I want to say my condolences to Dr. Gonzalez. Another mystery death. My gosh, this was a treasure. We lost a national treasure in Nick Gonzalez. Dr. Bradstreet was a national treasure. We've lost important men under very strange circumstances. Very strange circumstances. That's what I taught the doctors. Okay. For you, this story breezed right by the Red Wings. right by the Red Wings. This story right here. An agent, he was a player, just like this. I learned this from a U of M cardiologist with a patient. Short of breath at rest, heaviness in their chest, nobody could find out what it was. Short of breath at rest, heaviness in their chest. One of the all-stars, who's now with the team, they did not, you never figured this out. He came in, this was him. He's a 16-time all-star. He said, I've been to 50 doctors. Nobody can tell me what's wrong with me. I said, do you have anything down there? There. Yes. And it's here. It's in your heart. And it's in your tongue. 8 weeks, he had a virus in his heart. Nobody knew why he couldn't breathe. He had a virus in his heart. You know what it's like to have a virus in your heart? The U of M cardiologist, I didn't say this, U of M. Young man, it looks like you probably have a virus in your heart. Number 2, I have no way of testing it. Number 3, I have no way of treating it. I'm sorry, good luck. These people have come in, they go get a routine physical. My heart's working at 37% and I haven't done anything. Nobody knows why. Virus in your heart. They're not all in the lungs. Some of them hit the heart. And I cleaned out this guy's virus. He's a 16-time all-star. He will tell that story. You mean to tell me I've been to 50 doctors. I smoked this on him. He's told that story for 15 years around the Red Wings. Sandra, great patient. She's a nurse. Now look at her. When that virus attacks her brain, that's what they would have called MS. Look at her eye. She got a virus in her brain, causes double vision, and she has to wear an eye patch. I had to treat her for 6 weeks. Look at her eyes. That's what they call MS when a virus attacks your eye. It's optic neuritis. Something attacks her. There's a bunch of these. She's a nurse. She knows when that virus flares up, that's what her brain does. Ben, this is a big farm boy from Erie. Cuts off half his finger, which a million farm kids have done. All my relatives up north have cut off a finger. Goes in. They started part of his finger back on. They gave him 2 shots. 2 shots. Now everybody's cut off a part of a finger. That's a working man. After those 2 shots, now they say, well, now you got Guillain-Barré. Now I'll guarantee you, this kid never looked up at me. His dad brought him in. He sat there like this. He's a tough little farm boy. The whole visit was this. The entire time. He would not lift his head up. He doesn't talk. He's pissed because of what they did to him. Up to his eyeball. Can't feel his hands and can't feel his feet. I nailed this poor kid. It took me, feel his feet in 2 weeks. It took 3 months to get 75% better. Why is this so slow? No, that's close. Why is this healing so slow? No, for Pete's sakes. This is what I did to the doctors. I talked to the doctors. They didn't answer one question in the crowd. That's even made it worse. Now I did this. Remember, I stood in for a guy that was dead. And my practice was bigger than everybody I talked to. So I talked to them from a position of already stomping them into the ground. This wasn't asking for their approval. I already killed them mercilessly. So I had an attitude for you guys when I did this to them because I know what they've done to you. So I did it to them. This kid, I want you to pass a law that says this kid's got to get a shot. I want to see this. I would like to go because I want to go watch you give this kid a shot. I guarantee you, this farm kid, you get near him with a needle, you will pull it out of your eye. I guarantee you, it will be lodged in your eye somewhere. There's a lot of us out there, and he's one of them. Jenny. That's what it looks like. Mono herpes 6. You see, that's what a fever looks like when it attacks your body. Joe. All of my joints are painful. This is what a parvovirus looks like. I had to nail. This guy was scared. He's a landscaper. He was terrified. That's what a parvovirus looks like. It took me a month to get it out of him. He thought he was done. Edward, there's your optic neuritis. Lost vision in left eye, no vision in left eye. Patient, he may lose vision in right eye, start to have MS. Symptoms of the legs. Symptoms start 6 years ago with him, feeling like he's being poked by 1,000 needles from mid-chest down to his feet. Herpes 6. And so when he's had this for 6 years, why wait? Let's get flu shots and put another virus on top of this one. My good buddy, Dick Sporting Goods, not the big one, I get this out of him. He gets a tetanus shot. It took me 2 months to get the fever out of his body after I fixed his mono. You play with your immune system after you've been compromised, it'll be a pox on your head. It's very easy to turn these infections back on. Very easy. Brian, MS, right eye, vision paralyzed 9 years ago, lasted 2 months, around 1 to 2 years. Numbness from feet to chest that would come and go, last for weeks. They've changed the names. It's not polio, it's Guillain-Barré. It's transverse myelitis. If I can keep changing the names, you'll never figure out what I'm talking about. Currently having trouble walking. MRI showed had mono in high school. Travel vaccines for mission work. The devil knows exactly what he's doing. He has destroyed the missionaries. Destroyed the missionaries. I can tell I got a junkie or a missionary in a room by the symptoms on the chart. It's either a junkie or it's a missionary. That's how bad it is. They look just like junkies by the time they get the shots to go to travel to wherever it is. 20% better. This poor guy. And remember, I can get the results of what's left with your immune system. You think you're all going to walk? Forget it. These people are messed up and it's eating them away. So if you think you're going to be back to normal, some of them, 80%, are doing very well. Some have been so compromised, they're on a very slow slide. This is serious. Nancy, lost voice, throat felt swollen and painful, flu-like symptoms, can't regulate body temperature since April. Fatigue, hypothyroid. Everybody with chronic fatigue from my Skype patients calls me and all they want to talk about is their thyroid. Because the thyroid's been beat to death. It's perfectly in range. They feel like crap. Let's not talk about the thyroid. Let's talk about other stuff because they've beaten the thyroid to death for you tired people. EBV, herpes, parvo. Boom, boom, boom. 90% better most days. Choking. She's sympathetic dominant also, which is a total other thing. Parvo, Epstein-Barr, and 2 herpes. She's going to have to manage this or she's going to have lymphoma, mono. Pick the disease. 40% of you are in this category right now. Just about half this crowd I would put right in the middle of this category. About half. Judy, 47, I love Judy. Great patient. She drives probably an hour. Diagnosed with MS, temporary vision loss. Here we go. 3 to come back gradually. Muscle tightness with shoulders, radiating numbness forearms, certain movements that cause dizzy feeling in head. This is recent. I just said, Judy, how you doing? This is Judy. Judy's been doing good for a long time with a virus. How far have you come from that MS diagnosis?
Like a new person.
And you said to me today, I said, how are you doing with that virus? You said,
I can tell when it raises its ugly head, that's for sure.
how long does it take you to suppress it? If it flares up.
If I can, the earlier I can catch it and get my rest and proper protocols, a couple weeks.
Thank you, Judy. This wonderful lady from the UK. Wonderful lady from the UK. Big, roly-poly, jolly lady. That's kind of fun. Just a spinster. She'll see this. We call her Princess Diana now. I have fun with my Skype patients from all over the world. I Skype with a terrorist. I know this guy beheaded people in front of the wall that he was in front of when I was Skyping him. Kelly, true. I meet people from all over the world. This lady was very fun. She watches all the lectures. Now, chronic fatigue syndrome cycles chills, fatigue, headaches, body aches, feels like flu-like symptoms, can feel feverish with no fever. EBV and CMV, genital herpes, 1989, Sojourn syndrome, attacked the virus in her face. Very thirsty, dehydrated. You know, all my dehydrated patients are so dehydrated they drink water all the time. That's another story. Had travel vaccines to go overseas, had blood transfusions and antibiotics. Immediately went to joint pain and swollen hands and feet. She has a virus in her brain, a virus in her joints, and a virus in her body. She has 3. Now, after about 2 months, she said, man, she was a really happy lady. She said, man, my results have been awful slow. I said, yep, your results are going to be slow. I said, right now, the travel vaccines that you had, the blood transfusion that you had, and all the antibiotics you took for years, I said, if you paid me $10 million, I wouldn't be sitting where you're at right now. And I said, young lady, I'm going to tell you something. If I keep you from some long, slow, miserable death that you're choking on your vomit, that might be successful. Because what you've done to yourself is an absolute crime scene, and you'll be lucky with any recovery that you can get. She's doing very well. I trained her how to cycle through the virus. One attacks her brain, one attacks her body, and one attacks her joints. She can tell, whatever one sticks its head up, she pounds down. She's cycling this out of her body slowly, and she's fortunate because I would think she is losing ground. Blood transfusions are nasty. Now, Skype appointments, I've had a great time with my international practice. I want to thank all of you people for coming today. That was pretty much a shortcut version of what the doctors are starting to work with. And there's a lot of interesting things going on. So I want to thank all of you for coming. I got out in record time because I did this lecture. I was pretty polished at this one part. Start to learn about this viral stuff. Start being a voice like the Raging Grannies because they're taking your stuff over. Thank you for coming.